What if the deadliest weapon in ancient warfare wasn't a sword or spear, but the silent control of the human mind? How did the Roman army master this psychological art to dominate thousands of years ago? The Roman army was not just a physical force. It was a masterclass in psychological domination. Unlike their noisy, shouting enemies, the Romans perfected silence, discipline, and mental endurance, transforming warfare into a battle of wills. This narrative explores 5 key ways Rome's legions mastered the human mind to become an unstoppable war machine. Number 1. The power of silent discipline. Imagine a battlefield where thousands of soldiers advance without a single shout. No war cry piercing the tension-filled air, just complete silence and unmovable discipline. This was the hallmark of the Roman army. Historians often describe this silence as an illusion of calm, but beneath it simmered a ruthless psychological strategy. When Roman soldiers marched in deadly silence, it struck fear deeper than any scream. Their enemies expected chaos, shouting, and fury, the typical sounds of battle, but were met with chilling order. This silence was not passivity. It was power, a display of mental control and collective resolve that unnerved foes. The Siege of Alesia by Julius Caesar exemplifies this. As enemy tribes shouted and tried to unsettle the Romans with loud battle cries and chaotic movements, the legionaries stood like statues in perfect formation. Their silence suffocated hope. Opponents, deprived of cues about the Roman army's intentions or emotional state, grew unsettled by the uncertainty. Scientific studies confirm that ambiguity in times of stress triggers anxiety even more so than overt threats. The Romans weaponized silence to break enemy morale before a single sword was drawn. This mind game of silence showed not weakness, but supreme confidence. The legion's stillness sent a clear message. We are united, prepared, and unshaken. In psychological terms, the Romans exploited the enemy's expectations and fears, making the mind the battlefield's true arena. Number 2. The mechanized mind, mutatio-rotational fighting. War is a marathon of mental and physical endurance, and the Romans understood this deeply through their mutatio system, lap after lap of fresh troops rotating seamlessly in the battle, ensuring their army never exhausted its mental or physical stamina. In other armies, tired soldiers weakened, hesitation crept in, and mental fatigue often spelled defeat. But Roman legions operated like a well-oiled machine. As one group retreated silently, a fresh unit stepped forward without hesitation or disorder. This continuous cycle of renewal not only maintained constant pressure, but drained enemy morale. Historians cite the Battle of Alesia in the Second Punic War as a hallmark of this tactic's effectiveness. Roman commanders rotated their forces with clockwork precision, wearing down the celebrated Carthaginian troops who, despite their fierce skill, couldn't keep pace with the relentless mental pressure. This mechanized approach turned the battlefield into a psychological endurance test. Enemies, watching hopeful comrades replaced by fresh Roman soldiers again and again, faced crushing despair. The Roman army weaponized human mental limits, wearing down opponents with machine-like persistence rather than brute force alone. Number 3. Psychological warfare, silent signals, and discipline. Roman army was more than an assembly of fighters. It functioned as a single focused mind during combat. This unity was made possible through a highly sophisticated system of silent communication whistles. Trumpets, flags, and precise hand signals replaced confusing shouts and chaotic yelling. Every legionary reacted instantly and without hesitation, creating a psychological state of flow and shared purpose. This hive mind coordination calmed individual fears and minimized distractions, enabling the army to execute complex maneuvers silently and flawlessly. Modern psychology reveals that fear and confusion are enemy forces on the battlefield. Roman commanders like Julius Caesar realized the power of psychological disruption as much as physical damage. He famously wrote that breaking the enemy's mind often decided battles before swords met armor. The Romans lived this maxim. Their disciplined signaling not only ensured coherent action under duress, but stifled fear by training soldiers to rely on instinctual responses, replacing panic with programmed efficiency. This enabled the legions to maintain mental edge and operational superiority. Number 4. Leadership by example and collective responsibility. Roman military leaders perfected psychological control by embodying the virtues of courage and discipline. Centurions, the backbone leaders, didn't shout orders from safety, but led from the front, displaying unwavering composure under fire. This style of leadership had profound mental impacts. Soldiers, inspired by their leader's example, internalized courage and refused retreat. Psychological research confirms that leadership presence profoundly influences group morale in crisis. Roman centurions exemplified this. Moreover, the army fostered deep collective responsibility. Peer vigilance and accountability ensured soldiers protected not only themselves, but the lives of comrades. A legionary's failure could bring shame or punishment, creating strong social pressures to maintain discipline. This mental cohesion was crucial, fostering loyalty and resilience far beyond mere obedience. The Roman army wasn't just a fighting force, but a tightly bound community united by shared psychological bonds of responsibility and pride. Number 5. Adapting psychological tactics from enemies. Despite their famed discipline and innovation, Romans were not rigid traditionalists when it came to psychological warfare. They were pragmatic and adaptive students of human nature. They observed terrifying war chants and ritualistic battle cries from Germanic and Celtic tribes, which amplified fear. The Baratus, a Germanic war chant escalating from a murmur to a thunderous roar, served both as a terror weapon and a courage booster among warriors. Rather than dismissing these as barbaric noise, Romans integrated effective elements into their auxiliary forces and tactics, showing not mere discipline, but psychological flexibility. Historical accounts show that during Boudicca's revolt in Britain, Roman troops initially maintained silence, but shifted at the right moment, bursting into war cries while launching javelins. This strategic mixing of silence and noise astonished and disoriented foes. The Roman military, as continuous evolution of mental tactics, ensured that they stayed ahead in controlling not just weapons, but the chaos of human emotion and fear on the battlefield. Beyond the battlefield, Roman psychological mastery as a legacy. The Romans' mastery of the human mind in war did more than win battles, it forged an empire. Their psychological innovations in warfare echo through military history, influencing tactics for millennia. Their practice of metallizing fear, creating unified collective mindstates, and relentlessly exploiting enemy vulnerabilities reveals deep understanding of human psychology that transcended their era. The psychological mastery of the Roman army reveals a profound truth about human nature. Power is not only wielded through weapons or numbers, but through the control of fear, hope, and chaos within the mind. Silence could be deadlier than swords, discipline more fearsome than brute force. If an ancient empire could turn these intangible mental forces into a weapon that toppled enemies and built a world empire, one must wonder what unseen mental forces are shaping the battles we fight today, both in war and peace.